So Detroit Pistons get by the Magic of Orlando. I think it was 89 or something. I don't have my other phone with me. But they beat Orlando third quarter. At some point, they scored 30 points to Orlando 3. Orlando came out, took the Pistons' initial first punch. And after the half, Isaiah Stewart said that JB had some words of encouragement for him. No mistakes, no bullshit. Just get the job done, and whatever he said, they lit a fire. I mean, the common theme is the Pistons, don't have enough firepower. You got to look at it from when people kind of talk about the talent. People say Orlando got a better team and they're more talented. People always look at two things when you talk about this sport. They always look at the offense and the individual talent, and they forget it's a team sport. You can put Allen Iverson, Kobe, Shaq, Vince Carter, Dr. J, Daryl Dawkins, Artis Gilmore, Pete Maravich, Jerry West, Dominique Wilkins, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, all on one team, and they can lose to a less superior team because they don't play as a unit. And that's what people always miss in basketball. And that's one of the missing things about basketball is it's a unity. It's a unit play. It's a unit. That's why when the Americans go over seas and they play in the Olympics and they be like, well, how did the team with Allen Iverson and Vince Carter, and how did they lose to a less superior team? Because everybody looks at offense and individual talent, but it's how you play as a team, offensively, defensively, the connection and the communication that y'all have on and off the floor. It's a team sport. And people love to break it down offensively. Oh, they have more scores, or it's how they do. How are they as a unit? How are they camaraderie wise, cohesiveness? How are they? If he running over here and he running backwards and he running to the right, he running forward, and we supposed to be going forward, are we going forward as a unit? But no, this guy going to this guy over, this guy going to this guy over. And one of the reasons the Magic, it ain't just the injuries why the Magic ain't what y'all feel like they are. Or they're more talented because they don't fuck with the coach. And then, I say this all the time when I talk about boxing. It's a high, my main channel is a high confidence sport. But even with a lot of something comes with weaknesses, you got high confidence. So if I can create a little bit of doubt in a high confidence fighter, it's a shatter. That crack gonna turn into, it's gonna start growing, and another tap is gonna shatter the confidence. Because when you too confident, you go into arrogance, and then when a little doubt start creeping, your self-esteem and confidence go down. And I'm making that analogy to the Magic. Yeah, same like, oh, we got over the hump with Jamal Mosley. We had that moment where we went to adversity and now we over the hump. No, you're not over the hump. The trauma is still there. The PSTG, FYG is still there. It was up to the Pistons to test their resolve and test if they really together or they really bonded. And I'm telling you, they're really not bonded. When the report is a coach is already gone, no matter what he do, they not bonded. He gonna keep grooving. But are those guys in that locker room still with him? And that's what the Pistons got to test. That's the next step in the process for the Pistons, is to come out game 2 and smack Orlando in the mouth. And if they come smack Orlando in the mouth, and in game 3, if they smack Orlando in the mouth, Orlando's done. They're done. And they're going to tear that team down to a certain extent. They're done. And the thing about it is you got 2 really good games from Jalen Suggs. Is he going to be able to do that? Mostly you think, well, Wendell Carter going to have a great game when he go back to Orlando. Suggs going to be money when he go back to Orlando. Paolo going to be money when he go back to Orlando. But the problem is this, when people look ahead a little bit to game 3, the Pistons are a better road team in the playoffs. They're a better road team in general. They thrive off the animosity. On the road, they're a better road team. But going through that game, some people feel like Durant still didn't help. Jenkins still didn't help enough. I figured it was going to be a rocky start for Jenkins in the playoffs. It's a different look. But at the end of the day, for the most part, there has to be an adjustment there. So if and then the offensive adjustment can be simply stagger him and Cade minutes and let him get into a rhythm. But is he having a hard time getting into a rhythm coming off the bench? You must ask. That's the question. Do we have an issue with him coming off the bench finding a rhythm? Do we need to start him for him to get a rhythm, or do we need to get him in the game sooner off the bench to get him into a rhythm? And if you don't feel like that's the issue with him, then it's just to the point where we just need to get him, confidence going, and making clear-cut moves and not over dribbling. So it's a learning experience for him in the playoffs, because people going to hone in on what he can and can't do. But at some point, he got to break through it. So if it's playing him and Cade together, and if that's playing Cade off the ball and letting Jenkins rock the mic real quick, and posting Cade up and having Cade come off screens, that's fine. Because that's allowing Jenkins to get into a rhythm and touch the ball, and that's allowing Cade to not have to go against a set D. They got to figure that out. A lot of issues with Karis LeVert. I think it's a wrap. People talking about trading him. I think his contract is valuable next season. And maybe he's going through some things behind the scenes we don't know, but most likely he's going to be thrown into the expansion Instapot. Duran, he really ain't doing what he's supposed to do. It could be Wendell Carter. It could be the game plan. It could be, getting over, some playoff woes, but he's staying out of foul trouble for the most part. So that's a step to sobriety. Like in sobriety, it's a step to sobriety, towards sobriety. I think it's the step in the right direction for him. Had 11 points. Like to see him rebound a lot better, but yeah, hopefully he can shake that off. Tobias Harris, he had his one good game in this series. Maybe he can give you another good game in this series. So Asar Thompson responded. There's a lot of stuff. Oh, he only played 9 minutes. JB Bickerstaff know how to push the buttons of his players. That's what I think people don't really understand. He know how to push the buttons of his players. So, K did his thing again. It's like, well, who gonna help him? You just really, the minutes have been inconsistent. When I look at Hollins, well, I ain't gonna bring him in it, but LeVert and Kevin Huerter, the minutes have been inconsistent. So, that's why I was kind of saying, how's the rotation gonna be? And I think what it should entail, at this point is, Huerter, Jenkins, Stewart, and them the three off the bench. I think them the three they got to rock it with. Them the three off the bench that you really want to go with. Them the three. Them the three that we got to count on to get into rhythm. Them the three. So, if they need to make an adjustment in there where they might feel like we got to start Jenkins, that's what you got to do. Or we need to get Jenkins in the ball game, but they got to get Jenkins. And if Jenkins can get into rhythm, Huerter can get into rhythm, Stu is going to do what Stu do, they'll be fine. They going to be okay. They just need Duran, Jenkins, Huerter to find their rhythm. Offensively. That's it. But is the series over? No, but the series could be put away in game 3. If they showed the resolve they showed in MSG last year and they show on the road, they can collapse the Magic. The Magic are ready to be pushed off the edge. I'm telling you that right now. They think, we got a home court advantage. Nobody fearing going to Orlando. Even in the 90s when I watched the Magic with Penny and them, Orlando is not a fierce place. It's Disneyland. It's not a place that you say, well, I don't want to go in the game 7 in Orlando. No, it's fucking Disneyland. It's Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse Playhouse, whatever. But the Pistons thrive in those environments. They like being on the road. They're a good road team. So, would I, at this point, rather deal with home woes and them finally getting over the home hump or a road woe? But obviously, you got home court advantage throughout the East. So, but I always love a team that's strong on the road. And the Pistons, when they backs against the road, they strong on the road. I mean, going back to their championship years, they, versus LA, it was a sweep. Which they should have went the year before that, but you had the whole, they should have went the previous 2 years. The year before that, you had the whole thing with the Paul on Bill Laimbeer on Kareem. That wasn't a foul, which they should have won a championship then, and they would have closed it out in LA when Isaiah hurt his ankle. And the year before that, you had Larry Bird in the past, which they should have closed that out. A simple passing, they should have closed that out in Boston. Realistically, the Pistons really shot themselves in the foot. They should have won 4 straight. You know what I'm saying? But, and then you talking about, the championship they won after the 88-89 season, where, Portland stole the game 1 and they ripped off 4 straight, 3 being in Portland, and closed it out in Portland. So the Pistons, I mean, even going back to the bad boys, you know what I'm saying? Them or the going to work Pistons, they had to have a strong road win game 2 in Indiana. They got that done. Then they had to steal a game in LA. They got that done. So that bad boy mentality is a road warrior mentality as well too. If they not just the bad boys that going to work Pistons, they the road warriors. I mean, there's really never been a thing. It's just been a curse of winning playoff games and blessing Little Caesars with a playoff win. But but game 3 is going to be a swing game. It's going to be a swing. And if the Pistons come out and assert dominance and they just need K doing what he doing, you just need one guy to step up, whether it's Duren, Jenkins, Herter. And if you get any of them combination of guys stepping up, it's going to be a breeze. So they're going to come out with a Joe to Life game 3. But if I'm Bernie, JB Bickerstaff, I'm telling my guys, we gonna deliver the blow. We gonna deliver a haymaker. Fuck up them being at home. We the road warriors. We're gonna deliver the knockout punch in that first half. And if they dominate that first half, the Magic are done. I'm telling you that right now. When somebody's job is in jeopardy the way Jamal Mosley and how I've been going, yeah, good times feel like, oh, we got it fixed. It's not fixed. But hey, check out Detroit Piston Talk playlist, Detroit Piston post-game reaction playlist. I appreciate the love and support. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.